come back and talk a little bit about some of the stars we'll be seeing in competition. Darlene Forbes, moving for the Pioneers, with his captain Sandy Dunn. Back on defense for the Chiefs at the rear. Good shoulder black, back by Dunn, two powerful clubs. There's Sandy Dunn, and the Chiefs try and send a jammer in. Forbes put down on the play by Dunn. Vallow there as a backup, but the Chiefs come over. Again, strong lineup that they've got out there, especially in that Pioneer field.
Yeah, the Pioneers, you'll notice that Darlene Forbes is wearing a jammer's helmet, and that's very unusual because usually she's either a pivot skater or strictly a defensive skater. And Sandy Dunn did, well, just a remarkable job of holding out a big skater like that, and she did away with her. It's going to be a tremendous game.
This is probably the best season that I think, or the best form I've seen Darlene Forbes in 5-6 seasons.
Oh, at least, Don, because she's dropped off some weight. She's in one terrific condition. She's just one heck of a skater, and you can't take it away from her. Offensively, defensively, she's just an all-around skater, and we're going to see one heck of a game this afternoon.
Oh, skaters, and trouble going over that tag. It's done, and Gallo swings away. I don't know what started that, Kenny, but it certainly did get picked up.
It's really something that, you know, like you got both Jan Vallow there, number 57 of the Pioneers, and then you got Sandy Dunn. Both of them are just spirited skaters, and they're going to try and keep control of their girls' field.
Well, Ken, we're going to take a timeout coming up here right now with a score. The Chiefs 2 and the Pioneers 1. Drewry, Ken Monty back calling the action from Kezar Pavilion. We're in the first skating period of this game between the Midwest Pioneers and the Chiefs, with the Chiefs leading 2-1 over the Pioneers. 5 minutes, 5 seconds left to go. There was a penalty, unnecessary roughness on Sandy Dunn just before the break that we took, and the Chiefs are shorthanded right now. Vallow also picking up a penalty on that unnecessary roughness call. Both teams are shorthanded. The Jammers are out voting. It's Rita Williams, 43 on the move for the Chiefs, and for the Pioneers, it is Eric out and voting on his jam. Eric, with a good side step, gets away from little Rita Williams. And Eric is a skater that's really developed and improved. Here comes the Pioneer jammer, and it's Forbes going to work on one of the Chiefs up the turn. Eric moves by, cuts it off. One Pioneer point scored by Sherry Eric, the assist of Darlene Forbes.
Beautiful teamwork there by the Pioneers. With Darlene Forbes going to work. I believe that's Debi, number 45. One-time Bay Bomber, I believe, wasn't it, Donald?
Well, she was for a very short time. She skated with the Midwest for many seasons. And I think right after you stopped skating, as a matter of fact, and became into the management field of the roller derby stars. But you worked your way up. You deserved it.
Yeah, and, well, there you go. Now it's all tied up. The Pioneers 2 and the Chiefs 2, and approximately a little better than 3.5 minutes remaining in this period. And again, Don, this is going to be something for very unusual for our listening audience to see. Is the Pioneers and the Chiefs competing against each other?
Well, so much out here on the West Coast anyway. You know, of course, on the East Coast and the Midwest, that's all they do see. They don't really get the opportunity to see the Bombers as well. But one of the things that we point out to the fans, that if you're just tuning in right now, it started off very rough. Great rivalry between the Chicago area and the New York area. And it started off very rough here in the first period. Penalties and tempers flying between Vallow and Dunn early. Jammers are out. The Chiefs have 2 on the move. They have Kathy Ramos, number 42 and 43, Mandy Johnson on the play. Pioneers unable to get anybody out, and Dunn is in control at the front of that pack, keeping the Pioneers in. What a job she's doing. Jan Vallow moving up now, and Vallow busts out, takes up the chase with a pivot helmet on. She's a long ways back, though, and the Chief Jammers are already moving into scoring position. Look at that Vallow dig out. Here come the Chiefs in the scoring position at the rear. Dunn dropping back to assist. It's a double block set up. Now Dunn forced to draw back as Vallow moves in. Here, hit, put down. Here comes Sandy Dunn. Takes the whip from one of her teammates back to the inside, opening up the double block. Dumps one of the Pioneers. Chief Jammers trying to go through inside. Pioneers coming up, and the jam called off. The jam called off. There were a total of 5 Chief points that picked up on a play. 3 by Ramos and 2 by Mandy Johnson.
Excuse me for interrupting you, Don, but it's the whole effort on that play was Sandy Dunn, and by the time she dropped back and knocked down Vallow and then moved on and split that double block, of course they had problems in moving out Darlene Forbes, who did a tremendous job. But when you can score 5 points on one jam, whether it's 1, 2, or well, the most you can score is with 2 skaters, but it just jumps them now into a lead of 7-2, and the New York Chiefs are on top, 7-2.
Well, on top here in the first skating period, a minute 48 seconds remaining here in the first period. Back being reorganized. Pivot skaters go to the front, blockers in the middle, jammers at the rear.
Sandy Dunn on top again, controlling that back. She did a tremendous job on the last one. Doing a tremendous job on this one. Now skater on the outside, moves to on the inside. Darlene Forbes moving away. And then they're reaching back. Here comes Sandy Dunn after Darlene Forbes. Darlene Forbes below the jam, chased by Sandy Dunn.
And Dunn moving up. Sidestep up by Forbes. Good quick move on the play. Good quick move up there in the Pioneers. Now the only scoring threat. Dunn is back off. The skater was just past. That was Kathy Ramos who was done. And another skater spun into the rail. Mandy Johnson is done back on defense, but Vallow is picking them off in the back. And you can see Forbes going by one at a time. Now it's done back again on defense. Good blocking going in there. Joe comes back, misses the block to Forbes. She's by for another one. Vallow trying to move Dunn out of the way. Forbes still going and takes it out of the turn. The jam called off, but I believe there's a penalty, and you've got skaters down in the turn. The official ruling on the play, Ken, there were 4 Pioneer points picked up by Darlene Forbes and a 1-minute penalty on Jan Vallow holding call, so that nullifies the 5th point. Dunn was held to get scored over.
That would have been a 5-point play, and they jumped right back. After giving up 4 points, they jumped right back and come back with 4, and now the score is just 7-6 in favor of the Chiefs.
Only 9 seconds remaining here in the period, so that's the way it's going to go out at the end of the first period. The Chiefs will lead 7-6 over the Pioneers as the men come onto the track. Directly following this timeout, the Pioneers will be shorthanded. Alfonso Reyes there as an assist. Perez is put down. Here comes Reyes. Mine goes out of the way. Reyes going up to JoJo Stafford. Rice moving up. Jam called off. Jam called off. There were 3 Chief points picked up on the play. Johnny Rice scoring. And the assist of Alfonso Reyes and the rest of the Chief team. There's the man that picked up the points.
Johnny Rice, it's very unusually spelled his name with a W. It's W-R-I-C-E. Picked up 3 points. And now they go in the lead. And, you know, the Pioneers, the Chiefs, they have tremendous size out there. If when we get around to it, we'll start mentioning some of it with Buddy Atkinson Jr., Alfonso Reyes, Jerry Cattell.
Well, those are 3 of the biggest guys in the league. I think they're bigger than the Red Devils. 10-6. 10-6. The Chiefs on top by 4. They get the first jammer out. Alan Little's on the move. Pioneers are going to get somebody. There's blocking Atkinson and Hyde in the rear. Atkinson takes a high elbow block. Comes back in. 4-on block back to Hyde. Jammer's pulling on the run back, and they're really straight to in. Here comes Hyde. Jammer's put down. Over the top. The blocking continues. Hyde going on.
because the jammers are screaming on that. And,
no, they were really moving out there. You can't take it away from them.
Buddy Atkinson's got a... Here comes the bucket. He goes over the top of Atkinson, jumps back up. Whatchamacall takes over the lead. He's coming in. He cuts the jam off, but it's too late. They've
already scored on the play.
Picked up 1 point. Here we back to live, Don.
We're back live now. The jammers are out moving. Jammers moving on the play. And they've been taken back in. I believe the lead jammer right now to be Alfonso Reyes with a pivot helmet on. He's sent flying into the rail with a good block from JoJo Stafford. The Pioneers now have the lead jammer out. Number 54, Don Light. Bob Hine back to lead the way. It's going to be Atkinson on defense for the Chiefs at the rear. This is a big man, about 245, 250 pounds, 6'2", and he can move. He's not just big out there. He's very agile. Atkinson throws a high elbow block back to Hine. Slows him down and prevents him from bringing that jammer in. Here they come out of the turn, down the straightaway. Jump block. You can see the agility of that man, but I believe the jammer got through. Atkinson drives him over the rail. Gators still on the move. Atkinson coming back into Hine. A shoulder block to Bob Hine. Hine back to Atkinson, driving over his back. Forearm block. Atkinson put over the rail. The jam called off. There were 2 Pioneer points scored on a play by Don Light. The assist of Coach Bob Hine of the Pioneers. And there's Bud Atkinson, who just took quite a shot from Bob Hine.
And you know, it's speaking about Atkinson, Wow, he's getting back to Hine. But speaking about Atkinson now, that comes from a famous skating family of Buddy Atkinson Sr. along with his mother, who was skated under the name of Bobby Johnstone. And Pioneers are slowly creeping up after the Chiefs. The Chiefs are now leading 10-9. The Pioneers trailing by 1 point. And actually on that last play, Buddy took himself out. He was concentrating so much on Hine that the jammer was able to get through on the inside.
7 minutes remaining here in the second period. A rough game between the Pioneers and the Chiefs. The Chiefs remain on top by 1, 10-9. The Pioneers. He was last season's Rookie of the Year in the midfield. Quite a little skater. Followed out by Darnay McPherson, number 45 of the Chiefs. Each team has 1 jammer out, moving on to play. McPherson takes over the lead on the jam. It'll be Alfonso Reyes back on defense for the Chiefs. For the Pioneers, JoJo Stafford back there. Blocks thrown in by both of these clubs, and both of them really pounding away back here now. Reyes won on a 20-foot rule. He's dumped the Pioneer jammer, and the lead jammer right now, McPherson trying to beat out JoJo Stafford at the rear attack. Here comes Reyes moving up. He'll be trying to move Stafford out of the way. He drives him forward with a forearm block. There's a skater tripped up in the back, and the jam called off. The jam called off. The official decision, there was 1 Chief point picked up on the play, McPherson scoring. So, with a break being called out here, a timeout being called on the track, the Chiefs lead 11-9 over the Pioneers. Back calling the action here at Kezar Pavilion. We're in the first skating period for the men, second period of the game. First half of this game, you'll be seeing the second half next week, the same time on this station. The Chiefs lead 11-9 over the Pioneers. 5 minutes, 3 seconds remaining in the period. Jammers are out moving. Perez comes up with a leg block, then an elbow block, puts down Johnny Rice for the Chiefs. And the Pioneers have the only jammer out moving on the play. All 5 of the Chiefs being kept in. A big, awesome Chief team. I don't think... there must be 4 guys out there to go well over the 200 mark.
I'm surprised the track is able to hold up.
Oh, please don't say that. 4. They'll have me out there repairing it. 4 minutes, 35 seconds left to go in the period. About 35 seconds left to go in jam time. Pioneers are the only jammer out. Atkinson on defense for the Chiefs. The Pioneers, a solid wall of jerseys at the front, preventing the Chiefs from breaking anybody out, trying to slow the pack down to give Perez more time. Atkinson sets up Perez. Rice comes back with a block and staggers him. Again, Reyes with a high elbow block. Gets in with another one. The back of the net stands still and time starts to expire. It's over. No score on the play. No score. Valid defensive work by the Chiefs.
A little bit of discrepancy there with JoJo Stafford.
You still have that man down, Joe Perez. Here's the replay. Well, it's almost like it's in slow motion. They had that pass going so slow, trying to give him the extra time there.
Atkinson setting him up there. You see Johnny Reyes coming back and hitting him with a block. The pack gets tangled up. Reyes hits him again. And then down goes Joe Perez. Perez comes back up, and Reyes is waiting for him.
There should have been a penalty there.
There's a chance for a penalty there because he was turned around and faced the wrong direction.
We're back live.
You know, another thing, Don, I imagine this upsets a little bit of New York fans with Perez being on the Pioneers.
Well, you got to go where the best opportunity is, kid.
Right.
How many players did you lose through the years? You always had a great team at the start.
That's true. That's true.
Jammers out and moving. 11-9. Chiefs on top. 3 minutes, 8 seconds left to go. Alan Littles and Charles Gibson. On the 58 is Gibson for the Pioneers. And for the Chiefs, it is Littles. Comes up with a good block. Yeah. Again, these Jammers.
Gibson down. Gibson back on his feet.
Jammers coming in on the rear of that pack. It's lifted inside. The Chiefs lifting the pack, thinking that Littles had it. And it was taken away. There were 4 Pioneer points scored by that man right there, number 58, Charles Gibson.
Is he coming of age, Don? Is he coming of age? He is coming on.
And he's another big fella. He's going to fill out yet, put even more weight on. He's kind of slender right now.
The child. He's got to put it on. Tremendous skater. Just a tremendous skater, and a tremendous effort by the Pioneers when they took advantage of the Chiefs.
13-11. The Pioneers jump up on top by 2. 2 minutes, 15 seconds remaining in the first period. Look at the size of that team. The Chiefs team is like, what, Cattell, Atkinson, Reyes, Mike Phillips out there. I think Atkinson's weighing in around 245, 250. Cattell is up in that mark, about 240, 245. Reyes is in around 235, 240. Phillips is at around 230.
Tremendous size.
Better them out there than me.
I'm glad I retired and old.
Jammers out moving on the play. 44, Phillips on the move for the Chiefs. Don Light on the move for the Pioneers. It's going to be Hine and Reyes back on defense for the respective clubs. Jammers moving into scoring contention at the rear. Hine, high elbow blocks into the head of Phillips. Slows him down. Reyes pounding back into the Pioneer jammer, Don Light. Leg block back by Hine, elbow combination. Skaters dicing back and forth. Atkinson coming back with a block. There's a skater taken out on a play. Atkinson has eliminated 1. The Pioneers have picked up 1 point. They've got another skater working up. And time, and the jam runs out, but there was 1 Chief point scored on the play. 1 Chief point scored, and the assist of Bud Atkinson. And fists are flying. Hines and Reyes over there.
Reyes going on the way in Hines. The referees are in there trying to separate them. You know, Don, I'm beginning to wonder, with the size that the Chiefs have, if later on in this game, towards the end of the game, if it's not going to make a difference of them constantly leaning on the Pioneers. Because you get that much size, you're going to have to tire eventually.
I think it's just even getting away from the guy. Well, you know better than I do, Ken. We've got about 30 seconds left to go here in the second period. Pioneers lead 13-12 over the Chiefs. But you've had a few big men lean on you. Of course, you were good enough to get away from them.
Well, sometimes you get lucky, but I mean, this is there's so many out there. It's going to be awful. It's going to be hard to get lucky that many times.
When's the last time you remember seeing a team this big?
I don't remember ever seeing a team this big.
Oh, come on. You kid for a long time. They had to sometimes. Jammers are out, but it's a race against time. 5 seconds on the clock and ticking with 4, 3, 2, 1. It's over. And believe it or not, in 9 seconds, they both scored 1 point each way. So the score at the end of the second period, the Pioneers 14 and the Chiefs 13 with a timeout being called on the track. Ken Monty back calling the action here at Kezar Pavilion. Today's game between the Pioneers and the Chiefs, with the Pioneers on top by 14-13. We're just going into the third skating period, and women are just coming onto the track for that third period. You'll remind the fans, if you're watching this game, or the first half of this game this week, you'll be seeing the second half next week on this same station. Devers alone around the outside. Number 55 for the Pioneers is Super Golia on the move. Chiefs looking to get somebody out. Mandy Johnson now in pursuit for the Chiefs. She's in the gold jersey in pursuit. The light one if you're watching in black and white. Number 43. Each team one jammer, one potential scorer on the play. Jammer's going along, back and forth. Back to the inside. It's an elbow block. Thrown back. Another high elbow block. Thrown back by Mandy Johnson. Pergolia comes. Oh, good sharp elbow block. Thrown back by Super Golia. The offensive jammer is moving up to the rear. Jammers trying to work their way on the rear. It is Dunn and Vallow who will be doing the defensive blocking. Two of the best in the league back there. They'll be doing it. Second women's captains at the rear of that back. Jammers again moving up to the inside. Pergolia yet to make a move, trying to eliminate the opposition before she challenges Sandy Dunn. And Dunn now unwinds a block. Johnson comes in with one, but it just staggers Pergolia. Doesn't quite get rid of her. Pergolia moves up, hit back, put down by Dunn. Johnson being melted back by Vallow, put down. Dunn comes up, and again, tempers are flying. This time they've got Vallow. 2-on-1 down there. And Skater staggering up down in that turn. Officials having a hard time keeping them separated. And Sandy Dunn both squared off, and the officials having to break that up. I'll tell you, kid, this is probably going to be one of the roughest games the fans are going to see all season.
Well, both teams are spirited, and it seems like both teams are just up for the game. And when you get somebody up like Jan Vallow and somebody up like Sandy Dunn, there's going to be sparks, and one of the sparks is going to be fired.
There they go. A $25 major fine, Sandy Dunn. And they're just not letting up. There they go again. The Pioneers on top, and Skaters dropping early here in the third period. Dunn and Vallow, that's what they've been wanting to get at each other. Everybody kept getting in the way, and I think that's why they ended up getting dropped. Those are two big women.
Well, you ain't kidding. And you know what it is? They're trying to protect their team and take control of this game. And they're probably going about it the wrong way. You should do it by putting points on the scoreboard. But they feel that this is the proper way to do it. They're going to try and dominate each other. And it doesn't seem like either one of them is succeeding. And the only people that are getting hurt is their skaters. The game is tight, and it's going to be a rough series. It's going to be a rough game.
The Pioneers, of course, are in first place presently. And I think they want to stay there. They're not taking it. The Chiefs, of course, is their first game of the season. They're coming in to prove that they're strong. The Pioneers have already defeated Red Devils, have already defeated Bay Bombers. They're in the number one spot. I guess if you're going to go against the number one team, you've got to go rough.
I guess so, and they're going to try. They're trying to prove it to beyond any doubt, but I don't believe they've succeeded in it yet.
7 minutes, 43 seconds left to go here in the third period. 14-13, Pioneers remain on top. Both teams short-handed, Skaters in the penalty box. Chiefs are fielding only 3. Pioneers fielding 3. Back forward, whistle sounds. Offensive jammers coming up and out. 53 is Catherine Shaw moving out. Debi Cho coming out for the Chiefs. Shaw taken down. Done by Cho.
You know, another thing to keep in mind on this now, in our rules, skating rules, if you pass all 3 skaters, you got 5 points. You get credit for the 2 in the box.
That's right, and she's got the opportunity. Skater hit, put down. All right, Rose Duran is also out there, but the Pioneers inside. And the jam called off. There were 2 Pioneer points scored. And they're breaking loose once again.
And referees are separated. The referees are doing it down to keep control of this game. They're doing a good job. And there's more penalties being issued out on this. Rose Duran was just being pointed the finger at. Here we come up on a replay of this last jam. And there you see Debi Cho coming in at the rear of the pack. And I believe the blocker on this is Sherry Eric puts her down. So you see Rose Duran coming into the picture now. She moves there on the inside, put her hands on her hips, 2 quick points for the Pioneers. And then the match started.
Well, Ken, I think we're going to take a break here right now. A timeout being called on the track with the Pioneers leading 16-13 over the Chiefs. Drewry, Ken Monty back calling the action. We're in the third skating period of this game. The first half of this game coming your way from Keysar Pavilion. It's between the Chiefs and the Pioneers, with the Pioneers leading 16-13 over the Chiefs. 5 minutes, 15 seconds remaining. Chiefs have a double scoring threat on moving into play. 43, Mandy Johnson, and 42, Kathy Ramos. Pioneers finally getting a jammer out. Catherine Shaw, 53. She moves up, double block, hit back, put down. Chiefs are at disadvantage too, Ken. They have one skater in the penalty box.
Rose Duran sitting on that penalty after scoring 2 points. She got the beat.
Both teams short-handed. I missed the other penalty.
Now they both had full strength. Both penalty times up.
The Jammers moving to scoring position. It will be Darlene Forbes on defense at the rear. Block coming in. Stops the skater from scoring to the outside. Another one throw back. Forbes doing double-duty blocking at the rear of that pack. Jammers trying to work their way around. Dunn coming up in the block. Duran belted back. Jammers having a tough time. Dunn comes back, takes out one of her own teammates, and also moves Eric out of the way. Crossarm block, Johnson inside, and the jam called off. The official ruling, there were 4 Chiefs points that come into play. 1 by Ramos, 3 by Mandy Johnson, and that'll put the Chiefs up on top, 17-16 over the Pioneers.
Here we come up with the replay, and you'll see Darlene Forbes doing a good job until Sandy Dunn draws back. She picks out Rose Duran, puts her down. That's 2 points, 1 for each skater. And then she'll take out her own skater. In the meantime, Mandy Johnson moves Rita on the inside, scoring 3 more points, placing her hands on her hips for a total of 4 points on the jam. 3 by Mandy Johnson, 1 by Rose Duran.
Well, we're back live now. 3 minutes, 43 seconds left to go here in the third period, with the Chiefs leading 17-16 over the Pioneers. Vallow, who had skate trouble after that last incident, is now returning to the track, and we'll see her out there in the lineup momentarily. Jammers up and out. Sherry Eric on the move for the Pioneers. Chiefs looking to get a jammer out. They do. Little Rita Williams coming out. This girl can really fly out there. Both of them. Williams speaks to the ball. Comes up with a crossarm block to Eric. And Eric takes a low elbow block. Another one thrown back, and her shoulder combination body puts her down. I thought she was going to pick up a penalty. Those hands are awfully high.
Awful high. She's an awful small girl. Maybe that's the reason why they're feeling sorry for her. But I thought there was a penalty on her.
Hey, you didn't take care of the small people when they were coming in against you. Now you're sitting up here and stuff, all right.
Well, Sherry Eric gets a chance to get back at her now.
Pioneers with that skater on defense, 58 Sherry Eric. Elbow block. Little Rita Williams put down. Catherine Shaw in pursuit for the Pioneers. Long ways back, but closing on the rear. Another elbow block throw back. Williams sits back. Dunn drops back on defense. Shaw put down solid. Dunn moving up on the assist, trying to get Eric out of the way. Reverse whip. Sends Williams through. She's outside of it, more traffic. And diving and Cam runs out. There was 1 G-point scored on the play. Rita Williams picking it up. The assist of women's captain Sandy Dunn. That puts the Chiefs up on top, 18-16.
Darlene Forbes did a good job of picking up little Rita Williams after she got by at 1 point. Forbes, you know, you talk about size on the Pioneers boys. You got pretty good size on the, I mean, not on the but on the Chief boys, but you got pretty good size on the Pioneer girls. You think of Darlene Forbes, Jan Vallow, a couple of pretty good sized girls. I hope they don't use the telecast.
Well, yeah, but they're slender. I mean, they're well proportioned to their size.
Yeah. I mean,
you better say something, kid.
Yeah. I mean, let's compare to Rita Williams.
You got yourself in trouble, didn't you? What did you do the interview at halftime?
Where's he going to pick him out?
1 minute, 30 seconds remaining here in the third period. Chiefs on top by 2. Early in the game, 18-16. Nick dominated most of the game. And the Pioneers get out a former Bay Bomber, Sue Bragoglia. Bragoglia on the move. And this girl can really fly.
Tremendous skater.
Great agility. She's got a Chief. Kathy Ramos out behind her. She's a long ways back. You see her at the top of your screen, about a half a lap behind. Bragoglia is going to need the speed and the agility as she moves in on Sandy Dunn already. Dunn set waiting to do the defensive work for the Chiefs at the rear for the Pioneers. It's Forbes back there. There's an elbow block back by Dunn. Stops Bragoglia. Bragoglia hits in with another one. Bragoglia coming with a block, trying to eliminate the Chief Jammer. Sends her up into the rail. Now tries to score over Dunn again. Forbes in with a block. Bragoglia drives her Sandy Dunn forward into Forbes. Forbes hitting her back. And Forbes driving to the inside. Bragoglia trying to go to the point. Low inside. Cuts it off. There's called off. There was one Pioneer point. Picked up on the play by Bragoglia. 25 seconds left to go in this period. So the Chiefs lead. Cut to 1 point. 18-17. 18-17. The Chiefs on top. And that's the way it looks like it's going to end with this period. With there are only 10 seconds remaining. Good effort by Bragoglia. I told you about that agility.
Just a minute. You know, tremendous job by Sue.
All right, a timeout being called on the track with the Chiefs leading 18-17 over the Pioneers. Just joining the mid of the fourth period. Final period of the first half of this game with the Chiefs leading 18-17 over the Pioneers. The team coming from the Track Pavilion. The Jammers are out. It is number 50, jumping Joe Perez on the move along with Johnny Rice of the Chiefs. Johnny Rice comes to a block from the outside to the inside. Runs Perez high. Perez stays right with him. Now taking back in, trying to close on the Jammer. It'll be Hine and Atkinson on defense as the offensive players moving to scoring contention at the rear. Lapping the field. Now for each opposing skater lapping if they end up passing, they'll get 1 point. Perez goes in. Ooh, high elbow block back by Atkinson. Perez goes forward again. Jump block back by Atkinson. Perez taken down. Atkinson now moving up, trying to move high down the way to the leg block. Moves him out, and Wrice cuts it off. Quick move. As Perez was moving back up, it was quickly cut off in time. One Chief point scored on the play. 19-17. The Chiefs on top by 2.
There you see Atkinson going to work on
Joe
Perez. He puts a jump block on him. He'll move up on the inside. This looks so simple. Takes out Hine. Bryce moves to on the inside, places his hands on his hips, cuts the jam off. It looks so simple, but yet it takes a lot of agility on Buddy Atkinson's part.
Well, you see how he jumped up in the air. How do you, I don't know. It's bad enough to get hit in the chest, but come flying into the rest of that 250 pounds all up in the air, not for me.
And you're being very polite when you say 250.
You're doing the interviews. Jammers out moving. Yeah, Chiefs again have got those Jammers out. 45 McPherson. On with 46, Alan Littles. And Littles is probably one of the fastest men out on the bank track today, along with Mike Gammon and Tony Roman.
Well, that's something to see. Any one of the three of them on a jam against each other.
Jammer out for the Pioneers. In pursuit is Larry Stull. He's about a half a lap behind. The Chief Jammers are moving in. Bob Hine back on defense, and he's going to have his work cut out. He's going to have double duty blocking in the rear. Here come the Chief Jammers. Hine set at the rear. Comes in with a first block. Stops him. Little picked off. McPherson goes up. Cut back and forth. Hine's all over the place. Back and forth. Atkinson comes back. Takes out his own teammate. Stull is over the top and still on the move. The Pioneers now are the only Jammers. Skater being worked on. Jerry Cattell sent him to the rail. Stull still going. Saunders checks him up into the rail, drops him down, and the jam called off. The official decision, there were 2 Pioneer points before time ran out on a play. Larry Stull, last season's Rookie of the Year, picking up 2 Pioneer points. Atkinson taking out his own teammate.
I think the Pioneers can credit that assist to Buddy Atkinson. I don't know of any other way to put it. You know, it's a funny thing when you're sitting here listening. Here we come up on a replay of this particular jam, and you'll see him now, Bob Hine blocking out the two Pioneers. And all of a sudden you see Atkinson, there he goes. He wipes out his two own jammers. There goes the Pioneer jammer, two on the inside. You see him go to work on Cattell in the pack. Hines reaching back on a whip. And he moves through for his second point right there.
Yeah, I wanted to say, Ken, it looked like he passed 4 people, but actually he just caught up with the lead jammer. He passed Atkinson and Cattell.
Yeah. Here we go with another jam, Don.
Well, the score's tied, 19-19, 8 minutes, 20 seconds left to go here in the fourth period. Final period of the first half. The Pioneers have the only jammer out, Don Light. Or Light. Don Light, number 54, moving for the Pioneers. Chiefs without anybody, but they've got Atkinson on defense at the rear. Pioneers attempting to slow that pack down. Here comes Light moving into Atkinson. Atkinson set high elbow block, drives him back, staggers him up along the rail. Atkinson yelling up to his team. Cattell and Atkinson at the rear. Two big men. There's got to be over 500 pounds between the two of them right back there. Nobody able to get back to help that young skater out with all that beef up in front. Here comes Light again. Again, Atkinson drives him back with a shoulder block. Atkinson stepping him back. Johnny Reyes comes back. Skater hit again. And here comes, penalty on Atkinson, charging in the wrong direction, illegal blocking. And there was one Pioneer point awarded to Light on the penalty of Atkinson. He went charging in the wrong direction. I thought Rice should have been picking up a penalty at the same time.
I do too, and I can't understand them, you know. I don't know why they don't try and get Rice out on the jam instead of leaving a lone jammer out there, regardless of the size they got on the team, and then letting Rice come back and be a defensive skater. It just don't make sense.
Atkinson protesting the penalty, but again, Marcy's pointing out to him he's going in the opposite direction.
He won't win this argument, I'll tell you that right now. Atkinson's still a little bit unhappy, but he deserves everything he got.
6 minutes, 40 seconds remaining here in the first half. Pioneers lead 20-19. Back reorganized. We're going to be sending out number 58 for the Pioneers, Charles Gibson. Alan Littles on the move for the Chiefs. 1-1 on the play. Littles driving to the inside. Good, solid block. There's an experienced skater. Kenny, you had him on your team for a while. I think this kid is just fabulous.
He's probably one of the, well, he's a Mike Gammon, Tony Roman, but he's got a little more size than either one of them, which makes it so much more beautiful. Don, he's at the rear of the pack already. Go ahead.
And it's Littles trying to score. Gibson back on defense. Here's the kid we were talking about before, really coming into his own. Stafford is on a late chase, a long ways back. Gibson going to work on Littles. Now here's a little bit of experience coming up. Reyes comes in with that block. Littles takes a high step and then cuts low. The jam called off. There was one Chief point scored on a play. Littles scoring. And again, that's the experience.
Tremendous.
A timeout being called on the track right now with a score tied 20 for the Chiefs, 20 for the Pioneers. Drewry, Ken Monty back at Kezar Pavilion, calling this game between the Chiefs and the Pioneers. Ken, there's a tremendous shot of this fabulous crowd always out here. There's Ken Kunzelman, the trackside announcer that broke me in 18 years ago.
Don't mention time.
Tremendous crowd out here, always in San Francisco and support, as there is across the nation for many of these clubs. Pioneers have the jam around voting with a score tied. Perfect vision, 20-20. 4 minutes, 35 seconds left to go here in the first half. Atkinson on defense for the Chiefs at the rear. 54. Light coming up for the Pioneers with a leg block. Back by Atkinson. And Atkinson set another leg block thrown. Light slowed down. Jammers trying to work their way around. High elbow block back by Atkinson. Again, Light is set up. He was wiped out the last time by Atkinson when he picked up that penalty. Atkinson again drives him high. Stafford also moving up now. He's got a pivot helmet on, but he can't score. Jammers starting to play first. Jammers trying to work their way through. Atkinson and Rice forming a double block. Cattell there's a backup as well. Skaters spinning around. They're piled up down in that turn, and Cattell jumping in. And they're tied up down in that turn. Time of the jam has run out. Boy, that was a lot of weight down there. Cattell and Atkinson, everybody just piling up.
Yeah.
But they held back on defense. How do you get around a guy that size?
Yeah.
Or a pair of them?
I guess the only way you can do is get a bulldozer and have them follow that through. You know, a funny thing, you know, they showed a shot of the crowd before, and they're sitting there with their mouths open. They don't have no San Francisco team to root for, Don.
Yeah, that's true.
They're seeing a tremendous game, but they can't, you know, get behind their home team and root for them. And they're real pleased with the game.
Kenny, they just awarded 2 Pioneer points on penalties. Jerry Cattell picked up, I believe, a penalty holding on that flag. He dropped back behind somebody, so I imagine that's what happened. When Atkinson and Reyes had the 2 jammers locked up, it looked like Cattell dropped around behind them. So they picked up 1 point there, and then, of course, on a holding penalty, an additional point. 22-20, Pioneers on top by 2. 2 minutes, 53 seconds remaining here in the first half. Jammer out moving. And now the pivot skater, after a jammer starting to play, is now eligible to go out and move and attempt to score. 48, Alfonso Reyes on the move. Atkinson taking down most of the Pioneer pack. Here comes Reyes through. They're working on Gibson. Reyes over the top. Gets back up. Cuts it off. And he should get a grand slam.
It is.
He did.
It is, Donald.
He picked up four points for passing all 4 skaters on the track. He gets credit for the man in the penalty box, a total of 5 points. Again, here's an instant replay.
Here comes Alfonso in the rear of the pack. You can see him. He's starting to move now. Because what is happening in the pack is they're putting it together. He moves to on the inside. There's your 5th skater. He goes by over the top of him, puts his hands on his hips. You got 5 points there, Donald. Tremendous job by the Chiefs and Alfonso Reyes.
2 minutes remaining here in the first half. The Chiefs jump back up to a 3-point lead, 25-22. Back being reorganized. Pivot skaters go to the front, blockers in the middle. Both teams are at full strength.
Seems like the Pioneers have been a little stunned. They don't know what to do right now.
And not with all that weight out there.
I know it.
We were talking about Mike Phillips weighing about 230. We got another guy out there, Buzz Saunders. He's got to be in 230, 240.
Yeah. Young boy, too.
A minute, 22 seconds remaining here in the first half. Chiefs again get that first jammer out on top. Charles Gibson coming out of the Pioneers. Gibson going after McPherson. Comes in with a block sidestep by McPherson. McPherson misses a block and off balance goes down. Bob Hine back to lead the way. Alfonso Reyes, Jerry Cattell. Again, 2 big men back on defense for the Chiefs. Hine on the assist for the man that can score, the only one, Charles Gibson, 58. Backing off, Stafford up in front of those 2 Chiefs. He calls a play back up there. Stafford starting to slow down. Hine looking for the right opportunity. Still no move as yet. Hine starting to dig in now, coming out of the turn. It's up, takedown. Gibson over the top, still on the move. Stafford to lead the way up. Skaters being piled up. Stafford leading the jammer through for 4 Pioneer points. Charles Gibson scoring. 30 seconds left to go here in the half.
Here we come up on the replay. You see Hines and Gibson talking about each other. They got a double block back there of Cattell and Alfonso Reyes. You'll see Hines moving up now. What he'll do, he'll take them both down. Coming out of this turn now, you'll see him pick up some speed. And Gibson's right behind him. He jumps in the air, he locks them, takes them both down. Gibson goes over the top. His teammates take the other 2 skaters high. There you go, beautiful play. Moves to on the inside, 4 points for the Pioneers. Close up the score, 26-25 with the Pioneers on top.
All right, we're back live. And they just tried to get another jam going. Had they got it underway, it would have run the full 60 seconds, Ken, but it did not. Time ran out before they could get the pack reorganized and the jam started. So the score at the end of the first half here at Kezar Pavilion, the Pioneers 26 and the Chiefs 25. We're going to be back with a couple of interviews directly following this break. So be sure and stay with us. I'm Don Drewry, trackside at Kezar Pavilion, and I'm talking with my special guest this afternoon, women's captain of the Chiefs, Sandy Dunn. Sandy and I go back quite a few years. Not exactly like that. But we started training school just about the same time, right around 1959, 1960 era. And, of course, from there, I got left behind, and you went on to become a great star. Yes, that's good.
I made it.
Yes, you did. You started with Kinmoney.
Right. And I enjoyed skating with him tremendously.
And it looks like Kinmoney out there skating this evening in this game that's going on. Rough. And I mean rough. First of all, the Pioneers are in first place. They're a tough team. And they're a big team. You're short-handed skating with only 5 girls this evening, and you're up on the scoreboard. And it's not just the guys.
It's not that easy, really. Like Rosetta here, she's not here right now, Saunders, and that's my backup and my main jammer, and I've only got 5 girls. We're all out of shape. We haven't skated. This is our first game. That's why the Pioneers are in first place.
You mean that practice training before the season doesn't really help all that well?
No, it doesn't help that much. Plus, I was hurt a little bit, so I couldn't train that much, and I am out of shape, and the Pioneers are big.
Well, they're moving along quite a bit. Sandy, the Chiefs are going to be going into competition against the Bay Bombers, who are currently right now in second place. And they're going to be returning to some of the dates and places that you'll be going for the first time, like San Jose. You'll be going outdoors, and that's always different. When you're skating outdoors, it's been a long time since you skated in a ballpark, and you won't be skating at a municipal stadium as you had in the past, but out at the Powell Stadium off of Highway 680, and that's, of course, a return date coming up July the 8th. Does that make that much of a difference in your game when you go outdoors?
It makes a lot of difference because the wind is constantly pushing on you, so you're having a harder time making it around the track. Plus, the dirt's blowing up on the track, and it makes it a little harder to push. Plus, you can fall on your face a lot easier, too. And then when it starts getting late at night, the track starts getting wet, and it's slippery. So it makes a heck of a lot of difference. It really does. I'd rather skate indoors than outdoors.
Well, you go up against a team against the Bay Bombers that you'll be playing on in San Jose as compared to this one. With those kind of conditions, of course, they're running into them as well, but is there anything that you look for in particular?
No, I just know that it's going to hurt my team more than it is the Bombers, but my team pushes pretty hard, so I think it'll get us in shape a little bit faster. The Bombers, to me, are a little lazy. They're used to having a little beefed-up team. Where we're
nobody in particular.
Well, Western's got a lot of beef, and Tilly's very strong, and, of course, McGuire, who kind of hurts my feelings, is now on the Bombers.
Still have to. And all the people in Peekskill are mad, too.
I certainly hope so.
You also have some other big games coming up, Sandy, against the Bay Bombers. You're going to be playing in Stockton. It's a return date for the Bay Bombers on July the 16th, which is a Sunday. And then, of course, you're coming back here to Kezar Pavilion. It's part of a big doubleheader. It'll be the first time that you'll be in San Francisco in competition against the Bay Bombers this season. And just before that game, the Red Devils and the Pioneers will get an opportunity to go at it. But coming into San Francisco, this crowd doesn't seem to bother you whether you're skating against the Pioneers or the Bombers. You always seem to come in with the same attitude.
Like I say, I have a rotten attitude, but I really don't. I have an attitude I want to win, and if you got a sore spot, like Vala has a bad arm, I'm going to lean on it, and that's what I've been doing. And so hopefully the second half tonight, she's not going to be able to do anything.
I can understand exactly where you're coming from, especially with only 5 skaters out there.
Right, we're hurting, and I'll do everything I can to win. If people here don't accept that, that's too bad.
Of course, you were with a winning team for many seasons. Bill Grohl was your coach at that time.
He's on the Bombers.
Everybody left. You're the only one back there, but
all right. They're going to hurt. They're going to hurt. They have to skate against us.
End of the season.
They are going to hurt.
That's when all the marbles come up. Again, we want to remind the fans that these games coming up with Sandy Dunn's and Alfonso Reyes and Buddy Atkinson's Chiefs will be coming up July the 8th, a return game to San Jose. We'll also be skating in Stockton on the 16th. And on the 9th, you'll be back here at Kezar Pavilion, part of a big doubleheader. So we'll be looking for you at all of those games. On behalf of the International Roller Skating League, my special guest, Sandy Dunn, I'm Don Drewry. Thank you for joining us. We'll catch you next week. National Roller Skating League presents Major League Bank Track Skating Competition from Kezar Pavilion, Golden Gate Park in San Francisco. Today, it's the Chiefs in competition against the Pioneers. Hello, I'm Don Drewry. Along with me calling your play-by-play action is the veteran coach and now a member of the broadcast team, Ken Monty. We're in the 5th skating period right now, just in the start of the second half with the women already on the track and this play in progress. 7 minutes, 40 seconds up to go. The Pioneers lead 27-26. Chief Jammer 43, Mandy Johnson out moving on the play. Debi Cho opening up the door, trying to move a Pioneer out of the way. Drewry also going up into the rail. Johnson calls it off. And the official decision, there was one Chief point picked up on the play. Mandy Johnson scoring the assist of Debi Cho. That will tie it up 27-27. And Ken, it has been a rough game here in the first half.
Without a doubt, Don, that is actually putting it mildly because, I don't know, it seems like when the two teams are skating against each other here in the Bay Area, where we're telecasting this event from, it just seems like that they're trying to prove that the people haven't seen anything yet until they've seen one of these teams skate against each other.
Well, especially the Chiefs. This, of course, is the first meeting of the Chiefs and the Pioneers this season. First game for the Chiefs in the competition this season. And the Pioneers have already walked in, played against the Bay Bombers, moved them out of the way, beaten out the Red Devils, and are currently holding first place. So it's quite a challenge for this club.
You ain't kidding there, Don.
Jammers are out moving on the play. Again, the Chiefs have Rita Williams out moving on the play. 58 is Sherry Eric on the move. 1-1 on the jam. Jammers moving along. Leg block back by Rita Williams. Forearm block. Eric sent flying into the rail. And the Chiefs now the only jammer out moving. Score tied 27-27, and Eric dropping back on defense for the Pioneers. Waving her on. There's a girl that's really known around Chicago. She started in with that Pioneer team.
Great favorite in the Windy City area. I keep saying
The Hawks. Great favorite here in the Bay Area, too. I like her.
Yeah.
Eric coming up, elbow block to the outside. Rita Williams coming up, trying to score for the Chiefs. Elbow block again. A warning goes out to Eric as Williams is dumped on the Masonite. Back on her skates. Eric slowing down. Skaters trying to run away up and around the outside. Shoulder block. Hits back. Dunn comes back with a block. Eric taken down. Look at her try and scramble. And there was one Chief point picked up by Rita Williams. A little second effort there by Eric, even if you had to trip, but she tried to move, and I've got to give her credit for that. You don't see it every day.
That's true. The effort was there, and she did a tremendous job.
A timeout being called on the track with the Chiefs leading 28-27 over the Pioneers. Don Drewry, Ken Monty back calling the action here at Kezar Pavilion. This game between the Pioneers and the Chiefs. The Chiefs lead 28-27, 4:42 remaining here in the 5th period. And Sue Bragoglia has just broken out of the pack. Number 55 for the Pioneers. She's out with 42. Kathy Ramos on the Chiefs. Bragoglia, agile, fast, and just an all-around great skater. Moves on, comes up with a good block from the outside. Puts down Kathy Ramos, but also slides down the turn as well. A lot of power put into that block. Comes back with another one again. Sacrificing herself to try and eliminate the jammer. Ramos taken out, and secondary jammers have now broken out of the pack and become the lead jammers. Mandy Johnson and Catherine Shaw out there for the respective clubs. Shaw moving up for the Pioneers, and Mandy Johnson now has the lead on his jam for the Chiefs. Chiefs, of course, in the gold and green, Pioneers in the red, white, and blue. If you're watching in black and white, the Chiefs are in the light-colored jerseys, Pioneers in the dark. Darlene Forbes, number 50, back on defense, moves out of the way as Cho comes back to eliminate her, and time of the jam runs out. No score on the play, no score. But the score remains, the Chiefs 28, the Pioneers 27. Just a rough game, kid.
It is, and you can see it starting to take a toll. Mandy Johnson having a little trouble getting up on that play. Good blocking by Darlene Forbes. We discussed a little bit about her in the first half, what a tremendous ability, and just a little bit of loss of weight has helped her tremendously. She's just an all-around performer, offensively and defensively wise. Just doing a tremendous job. The score right now is 28 for the Chiefs, 27 for the visitors. 3 minutes remaining in the period. Here comes your lineups now, and Don will take it away.
All right, for the Chiefs, Sandy Dunn, the women's captain. Kathy Ramos, 42. Debi Cho, 45. Sandy Dornenberg is out of this lineup this evening. Rita Williams and Mandy Johnson. That rounds starts them out for the Chiefs. We'll get the women for the Pioneers in the 7th period. Jammers are out, moving on the play. And it is Joe on the 45 on the move. Rita Williams dumping Sherry Eric back in the pack, but here are your lead jammers. These are the ones that can score right now. Moving up into competition against the defensive blockers at their rear. Eric back on defense. Joe stops as she tries to score. Rose Duran moving up to the Pioneers, belted back by Mandy Johnson. Eric, high elbow blocks into the head of Debi Cho. Duran belted back by Johnson again. 58. Eric again slams an elbow block in. Shoulder block. Joe staggered to the outside. Joe trying to scramble her way forward. Another high elbow block thrown. Jammers trying to work their way around. Good blocking going on at the rear. Eric stays right with that veteran. Dunn looking to assist. Forbes comes back with a block. And the skater hit and put down is Debi Cho. There will be a penalty on Mandy Johnson, and that brings Forbes back. Helmets are off. Dunn coming over. We'll have to wait for the officials to straighten this one out. Ken, we also point out Jan Ballo of the Pioneers was injured in the first half, and the report that we have will not be able to continue in this game.
That's a big blow to the Chiefs. It's just a big blow. To the Pioneers. Here you see him coming in on the replay. You see Sherry Eric going to work on who in the heck is that?
Right there, that looks to be Debi Cho.
Yeah, Debi Cho, and you can see her going to work on her, hitting her with hard elbows, and you'll see Cho coming back in. Yeah, I know it. She hits her again. You see, there's so much action going on all the time, and there you see her going to work on her, and you'll see there's Forbes coming back and putting the finishing touches on her, and that eliminates the pay. And there's what a little bit of the
action started right after the play. We're back live. 55 seconds remaining here. There was 1 point awarded down there to the Pioneers. That ties the score, and it was on a penalty of Mandy Johnson, holding. So we have less than a minute to go. 45 seconds remaining in the period. Jammers trying to work their way up and out. Chiefs looking for somebody. Thus far, unable to get a jammer up and out. Joe starts that jam, losing her helmet, catches one from the infield now. Chiefs have the only jammer out, moving. Pioneers looking for somebody. Here comes Forbes, late chase, and she's digging in. Joe sets the mark. Down that straightaway, you can see Forbes just at the top of your screen as they go down. Sandy Dunn back to lead the way. Here comes Joe trying to score. Takes a whip to the outside. Eric comes back with a block, slows her down, stops her from scoring. Forbes moves in. Dunn back to block her. Forbes checked up along the rail. Eric on defense for the Pioneers. They have only 5 seconds in which to try and score as time in the period to block her. Running out against them now. And time in the jam runs out. No score. So the score at the end of the 5th period, tied 28-28. The men will be coming up directly following this timeout. Don Drewry, Ken Monty back calling the action from Kezar Pavilion. Today, this game between the Chiefs and the Pioneers. A tied score, 28-28. The men just taking over for the second period of the second half, which is the 6th skating period. Jammers are up and out. On the move is number 54, Don Light for the Pioneers. Chiefs looking to get a jammer out. This far unsuccessful. Buddy Atkinson Jr. giving a whip. And it's number 44, Mike Phillips on the move for the Chiefs. Each team one jammer out, moving on the play. And if you've just tuned in and you have not seen the first half of this game, if you missed it last week, we want to tell you you're really missing something, because this is probably the biggest team, the Chief team is, in the history of roller derby. Jammers coming up. There's a forearm block to the outside. Another one. Slowing down Don Light. Elbow block into the midsection. Alfonso Reyes on defense for the Chiefs, wearing the number 48 jersey. Bob Hine, coach of the Pioneers, back on defense for the Pioneers, sends Mike Phillips flying into the rail. Light comes up with a block. Phillips taken down. Hine now looking to assist as Reyes throws those high forearm blocks, draws a warning. He can't turn around and block. And time and a jam, runs short and out. No score on the play. Score remains tied, 28 all.
Like we were talking about before, Don, the size of this Chief team is just tremendous. There's one of your smaller men. He only probably goes about 220. Buddy Atkinson, what, 240, 250. Alfonso, 230.
Jerry Cattell,
230, 240. I've never seen a team this size. And the funny part is they're not slow. They're
very big and very agile.
Very agile.
Again, we want to remind the fans along the network that this telecast is strictly for the enjoyment of our viewing audience. Any other use or reproduction of this broadcast without the express written permission of the International Roller Skating League is strictly prohibited. Cameras are out moving on the play. 45 is Darnay McPherson. 46, Alan Littles. 51 is Larry Stull. He was last season's men's rookie of the year. He broke to the middle of the double block, and look at this rookie takeoff. I shouldn't say rookie. He's in his second season now, but he's digging in, pulling away from two of the veterans. Pioneers sending somebody back there trying to help out. Atkinson back on defense for the Chiefs. Light block, and the rookie squats low. The jam called off. There was one Pioneer point. We're probably going to get an opportunity to see this again. What a great move by the young rookie.
Tremendous.
He just squatted right underneath the leg block of Atkinson. The two Chiefs behind him thought he was going to get nailed and try and drive him into him and ran into Atkinson.
And you know, here he comes too. You can see him coming between two McPherson and Littles, and these are no men. We've discussed Littles before and McPherson. Both tremendous skaters. You can see him here just skating away from him, putting his head down and going to work. You'll see Buddy Atkinson dropping back, trying to take him out, and he just does a tremendous job. You can say Buddy here, motioning his men to keep forward. Littles is gaining on him, but he squats underneath. Atkinson ends up taking his own two men out, and the Pioneers get 1 point over Buddy Atkinson. Just a tremendous play by the second-year skater.
We're back live. 29-28. The Pioneers have just jumped back up on top. The back is formed. The whistle sounds. The jammer comes up. Joe Perez for the Pioneers is on the move again. Johnny Reyes coming out for the Chiefs. Again, you've got the speed merchants out there. Everybody in this league, all of the old roller derby skaters, really pouring on with the speed and the power. Again, this is the league that really moves.
It's just a minute. It's like the way you see those two skaters that just come out of that pack. They're not just poking along, boy. They're smoking. When you start smoking out of a pack like that, you're doing something.
Jammer coming in. John Rice for the Chiefs. He is the only jammer out moving on the play right now. Pioneer jammer Joe Perez was taken into a rail in his back, but has been set back by Bob Hyde on defense. The Chiefs in control at the front of that pack. And again, Rice backing off, looking for the right opportunity. Starts to make a move, comes around the outside. Perez drives in with a good shoulder block. Atkinson trying to get back there to help out. Is being kept forward by two of the Pioneers. Again, Atkinson trying to get back. Look at the blocking going on by Perez. Great teamwork all the way around. Another leg block thrown back. Time running short in the jam. And it's over as Perez comes in with another key block. Tremendous. And look at the standing ovation here in San Francisco going out for the Pioneers.
Kidding. Just tremendous. You know, there's Johnny Rice there being taken out, being assisted up by the trainer, the infield trainer. And we're going to see a replay on this. And this is just going to be tremendous. There he is, Joe Perez. But look at the Pioneers keeping Buddy Atkinson up in the pack. That is just something beautiful. There's Perez belting Rice again. And you'll see him coming in. He goes to work on him again. He's just hitting him with solid right blocks. He's hitting him again. Shoulder block, another shoulder block, and out goes Rice. That ends the jam. No score on that play.
And a timeout being called with, again, a shot of the tremendous crowd. We're back live, and I thought they called for a timeout there, but apparently they haven't. Jammers are out and on the play. They're not calling a timeout when they're moving like this. Look at that good key block back there by Littles, and the Chiefs are coming back. And what strong competition. I just can't get over it. 6 minutes, 23 seconds remaining here in the sixth period. Pioneers lead by 1, 29-28. This time it will be Gibson back on defense. Littles approaching all by himself. Chiefs down by 1. Pioneers lead 29-28. Gibson set. There's an elbow block to the outside. Another elbow block thrown in. Another elbow block thrown. Barrage by Charles Gibson. This man did a great job against the Bay Bombers in competition early this season, and now he's doing it against the Chiefs. Littles has been dumped to the track, slowly getting up. Is back on his skates, but is not quitting. He's coming in again. Makes that move to the outside. There's Gibson right on top. Dumps him again, coming out of the turn. The pack slowed down, almost to a dead walk. Jump block back by Littles, almost getting by. And Littles jumping Gibson from the back. The jam is over, and the officials breaking it up. Whoa, Littles catching in with a leg block. With a timeout called, the score, the Pioneers 29, the Chiefs 28. On Drewry, Kid Monty back calling the action. We're in the sixth skating period with the Pioneers leading 29-28 over the Chiefs. Here is the Chief lineup. for today's game. Alfonso Reyes, 48. 47, Johnny Ricce. Buzz Saunders, 42. Alan Little's 46. Jerry Cattell wearing the 47 jersey. Darnay McPherson, 45. And Buddy Atkinson Jr., 49. Jammers are out, moving on the play. Johnny Ricce was dumped. Take him back into the pack. Dumped again, and the Pioneers have the only jammer out right now. Number 50, jumping Joe Perez. 4 minutes, 25 seconds remaining here in the 6th skating period. 50, Perez moving into scoring position at the rear. All 5 of the Chiefs kept in once again. There's a forearm block high to the head of Joe Perez as he tries to score. Coming out of the Chief turn down a straightaway, a barrage of elbow blocks by 47, Johnny Ricce. Tries the inside, cut off there. Pioneers, Bob Hine trying to get back to assist, is kept forward by Alfonso Reyes. Perez backing off, looking for the right opportunity. Ricce dropping way back with him. And Perez now trying to dig in. Ricce wanted the 20-foot rule. He's got to move up. Hine dropping back, comes in with a block. Ricce taken out. Perez tripping over the top, but he's gotten up and is digging in again. Still going for more time, and a jam runs out. There was one Pioneer point scored by Joe Perez. Good key block by Coach Bob Hine.
You ain't kidding. You know, like in the first half, Don, this is just a complete turnaround. The first half was all the big men. Now all of a sudden, the second half, we're seeing the little men come front.
I think what happened there is they tried to lean on those guys so much, so they just started burning the big man. You know, it's hard when you carry that much weight.
It's tough both ways, because all of a sudden now the little men are starting to come front and, you know, come forward. And all of a sudden you start to see all the speed instead of all the brawn that we saw in the first half.
3 minutes, 5 seconds left to go. Pioneers lead by 2. That's in the 6th skating period. Then the women, of course, will come up for the 7th period, their final period in this game. Jammers out, moving on the play. Number 58, Charles Gibson on the move. Jammers for the Chiefs. Darnay McPherson coming out. They're blocking going on in the back. They've got Atkinson tied up. Atkinson tied up, and skaters going through to the inside. There was one more. Pioneer point picked up on the play. Atkinson down. He was triple teamed back there. So the Pioneers jump up to a 3-point lead, 31-28.
You know, Don, one thing I'd like to say, if any of our people that are listening ever get a chance to come out and see a game, not that the camera don't do justice, but there's so much action at one time going on in the track, it's impossible to cover it all on TV. And if you ever get a chance to get out to a game, I'll tell you, you've got a lot in store for it if you've only seen it on TV.
Well, especially the fans here in the Bay Area, and I'm sure Chicago and New York that have had the opportunity know how it goes. The thousands of fans, you can see them in the background here. Here's the lineups for the Pioneers. JoJo Stafford out there, the men's captain of the Pioneers. Don Light, 54. 57, the coach, Bob Hine. 53, Jim Jackson. 50 is Joe Perez. Charles Gibson, number 58. Jammers are out and on the move. The Jammer's starting to play first, and it's Alfonso Reyes now out with a pivot helmet on. He's an eligible scorer. Jammer must start to play first. And Don Light comes out with the Pioneers, tries to move with that veteran. Reyes drives him into the rail, puts him down. Minute 30 seconds left to go here in this period. Chiefs now the only scoring threat out, moving on the play. Number 48, Alfonso Reyes. And Bob Hine, JoJo Stafford dropping back on defense for the Pioneers. There's a combination that Reyes is going to have trouble with. Hine set waiting. Jammer coming up, tries the middle of that double block. Hit back, slowed down, trying to find his way through, trying to get leverage. You can see his arms cross up in front of their shoulders and chest, but it doesn't take. Joe Perez is on a late chase for the Pioneers, but he's got his work cut out. He's set. Hine comes in with a block, sending Reyes high up along the rail. And a jam called off by Reyes. The jam called off by Reyes, apparently not wanting to move in with Joe Perez right behind him.
Evidently, it seems like that he's a little peeved, so to speak, because he didn't get any assists from his men up in front. I figure he was figuring on Buddy Atkinson or Jerry Cattell or somebody dropping back on.
They just couldn't get back there, kid.
No, they couldn't, and the Pioneers are just doing a tremendous job, and that's the reason why they've got a 3-point lead.
20 seconds remaining in the period. 31-28, the Pioneers on top. Chiefs trying to get somebody out on top first. It's Alan Little's. But time in the period jam, it's going to be a race against time. I won't say they can't do it. I just saw it in the first half, but 3 seconds left to go. 2, 1, it's over. Time runs out here in the 6th skating period with the Pioneers leading 31-28. A timeout called. Then we'll be back with the women for their final regulation Don Drewry, Ken Monty back calling the action here at Kezar Pavilion. We're just going into the 7th skating period. This game between the Chiefs and the Pioneers, with the Pioneers leading 31-28. Here is the Pioneer lineup for the women. Jan Ballo, 57, who was injured in the first half, is out. 58, Sherry Eric. Darlene Forbes wearing the number 50 jersey. Kathy Shaw, 53. Supergolia, 55. And Rose Durand is 54.
But I'm real impressed with Mandy Johnson. I haven't seen her in quite a few years now. And Sherry Eric, another one who you got a camera on right now. I naturally picked the wrong skater. Sherry Eric is another tremendous skater who's just come along so great. And now she's really got a load with Jan Ballo being out.
I like what you said about Mandy Johnson. Mandy Johnson was one of those skaters, I think you've seen him in the past, where they're just going to sort of coast along and stay in there. But you get the right women's captain, you kick them right in the backside, and you make her work.
It's coming around. It's coming around. Look at it.
Once they develop that confidence, they seem to stay with it, too. And you got to push them sometimes. Jammers out moving. Rose Durand on the move for the Pioneers. Women's captain Sandy Dunn coming up with a Chiefs, a leg block, an elbow block, back to the inside. Durand stays right in there. Following Sandy Dunn. Elbow block. Oh, shoulder combination. Durand put down hard. Jammer coming up to the outside. Forbes back on defense. Elbow block back by Forbes. Stops Sandy Dunn from scoring. Dunn trying to fight her way through. Dunn belted back once again. And it is Joe dropping back on the assist. Forbes set waiting. Joe back to lead the way for Dunn. Dunn, 46 with a black helmet on, is the one that can score. There's a leg block on the Forbes opening up that door. Dunn coming up to the inside. Power play by the Chiefs. Pioneers caught off guard. Dunn squatting through on the inside and picks up a total of 4 Chief points. Kid, I think we're going to take a look at this again, and I'll let you call it. Great play. You had Dunn with you for a long time.
Just a tremendous skater, tremendous ability. There she is, number 46. You'll see her now around the jam. Here she is, coming at the rear pack. Forbes doing a good job. Don't forget, the Pioneers are without Ballo. And here's your number 1 skater coming in for the Chiefs. And she seems to be having the same trouble that Reyes was having, only this time, Cho gets back for the assist. And you got to give Cho credit on this. And I thought for a second the Chiefs were going to be stalemated, but they're not. And you'll see Sandy Dunn moves on the inside. Cho grabs up the rest of the pack, moves on the inside. 4 points for the Chiefs. Tremendous team effort.
Okay, there we are. A shot of this tremendous crowd out here again, watching this game today. And it's interesting that they come out and watch this game between the Chiefs and the Pioneers. Bay Bomber fans, of course, all out here in the Bay Area. Jammers are out and moving. 58, Sherry Eric. 42 is Kathy Ramos for the Chiefs. Comment on Sandy Dunn. We had her on camera and did the instant replay on her. She was born and raised right here in San Francisco. We went to the training school together, and she made it. We'll let it go at that. But she's a native San Franciscan. Jammer coming into scoring position. Sherry Eric, offense for the Pioneers. Dunn back on defense for the Chiefs. Forbes trying to get back to help out, being kept forward by Debi Cho. Dunn on one, good, solid shoulder block in there by Dunn. Dunn spinning around, catches Sherry Eric with a body, hits him with another elbow block. You can see Forbes trying to fight her way back to get back there and assist. However, Cho is doing a great job of keeping her forward. The back locked up by the Pioneers. They want to give Eric as much time as possible, and Dunn is doing a tremendous job back there. High elbow block, penalty on Dunn, holding call, and Eric is dumped. One Pioneer point being awarded to Sherry Eric on the penalty of Sandy Dunn, and a timeout being called here on the track. 6 minutes, 32 seconds left to go, with a score tied 32-32. By Debi Cho. Williams takes a whip, moves to the outside. Forbes there to meet her. Good, solid block in. And again, Cho trying to assist that jammer up, but Shaw goes through on the inside. Williams has the lead on that jam. She's got to try and score now, kid.
Yeah.
The Pioneer jammer has already gone by, and time in the jam runs out, but there was one Pioneer point as Cho tried to assist her jammer back up. Shaw saw the opportunity, cut through to the inside.
Well, you know, something like that, what Cho did, I wouldn't jeopardize the girl for doing that, because she's trying to help her jammer to get back into the flow of things, and she just happened to put herself out.
There's 53. We just saw her up on the rail, and that was Kathy Shaw. She's the one that, there's a beautiful Sherry Eric.
Yeah.
Smile for me, baby.
One of Charlie's Beatles.
Catherine Shaw, you got to give her credit, boy. She saw that opportunity.
Yeah.
She didn't slow down, and that's where you score. Pioneers jump back in the lead, 33-32. We want to remind the fans along the network, if you'd like to write to the Bay Bombers, we'll be giving you the information very shortly here on how to get in contact with them. We'll be giving you all of the, there it is right there. Write to the Bay Bombers for information on games in your area or to your favorite skaters or just how you like the broadcast. Write to Bay Bombers, P.O. Box 7979, San Francisco, California, 94120. That's Bay Bombers, P.O. Box 7979, San Francisco, California, 94120. Hammers are out, moving on to play. 3 minutes, 23 seconds left to go in the 7th skating period. Draguglia and Eric out a double block. Women's captain Sandy Dunn out for the Chiefs with a pivot helmet on. Right through the middle of a double block, and she's on the move. What a veteran. Just can't get over Sandy Dunn. I really can't.
She's not a big girl, neither. What does she go, about 115, 120 pounds, Sandy Dunn? Just
She's
tremendous.
mean.
Just tremendous ability.
Darlene Forbes coming out with a pivot helmet on after Dunn. Dunn throws her off stride as they come up to the turn. Now Forbes up inside, puts over that block, and Dunn driven into the upright. Forbes now moving up into scoring position. Debi Cho back on defense. Draguglia dropping back on the assist. And the Pioneers getting the combination working back there. They get the skater back on the assist. Draguglia reaching back, a whip to the outside. A block to the outside. Dunn has been down, sidestep by Darlene Forbes, by Debi Cho. Moving up on Rita Williams, sidestep again. But time runs out. There were 2 Pioneer points on the play. 2 Pioneer points picked up by Darlene Forbes. There's a shot of her. She started out of an Alameda training school about 6 years ago, went to the Pioneers, didn't really work out all that well, and has come back this season and is almost as commanding as Jan Ballo in that lineup.
Yeah, she seems to put it together. I don't know, maybe she got her head straight or whatever it is. Sometimes it takes a few years. She always had the ability. Everybody kept wanting her and kept saying she has everything that it takes to be a top skater. And finally this year, she's coming around and proving that she's got it.
Well, you can't take it away when the talent's there. And sometimes, as you said, though, how many skaters have you had in the past where it just takes a long time to really bring it out?
When it hurts you the most is when they go someplace else and do it.
Charlie Finley knows that, doesn't he?
I believe so, if there is such a person.
1 minute, 30 seconds remaining here in the 7th period. The Pioneers on top, 35-32. The Chiefs break the first jammer out, and again off a whip. Sandy Dunn going out. This time she's going with Catherine Shaw. Dunn up. Oh, good, solid block. Shaw put down. Chiefs now the only scoring threat out, moving on the play. Women's captain, 46, Sandy Dunn. Dunn was another one. They said never make it. She has an awkward stride, but she's got the endurance and the drive.
She's been awkward all her life, and I'd like to have 10 awkward skaters like that.
Yeah, I can imagine so. She started with you. Here's Forbes moving back to do the blocking. Good elbow block into the midsection. Dunn a little bit fatigued. 2 jams in a row, and now forced to come in again, and the Pioneers go into a pull away. The Pioneers pulling out. They're moving out there, and Dunn is being whipped forward to try and close. Pioneers on the move. Dunn whipped forward. Forbes drops back. Forbes coming in with a block, rides her high. Forbes pounding the blocks into Dunn and drives her up to the rail. Time, and the jam runs out. No score. There's a penalty blocking after the jam. Number 50, Darlene Forbes. 15 seconds remaining in the period. 15 seconds. 35-32. 4 seconds in the period. 3, 2, 1. It's over. Let's take a look at this again, Kenny.
You'll see him there. You'll see Forbes going to work on this, on Sandy Dunn, and you'll see her put her up into the rail, and she'll turn around and just hit her. And here's the beautiful part. Watch her raise her hand like saying, we're not dead just because Jan Ballo's out.
Little confrontation right there, but that's the end of the 7th skating period with the Pioneers. 35, the Chiefs, 32. We'll be back, picking up the mid in the 8th and final period, directly following this timeout. Don Drewry, Kid Monty back calling the action here at Kezar Pavilion. We're in the 8th and final period of this game between the Chiefs and the Pioneers, with the Pioneers leading 35-32 over the Chiefs. Men just taking the track. 8th and final period getting underway. Jam is started by Don Light, who reaches back as a whip to number 40 or 53, JoJo Stafford. 44, Mike Phillips is out in pursuit for the Chiefs. Jam Jammer's on the move. Pivot skater is the lead potential scorer. Jammer's starting to play first. Alfonso Reyes dropping back, getting ready to do the blocking. Along back there with 47, Jerry Cattell. Phillips missing a block. Goes flying into the rail, and now the Pioneers have that lead jammer potential scorer, JoJo Stafford back. Elbow block to the outside. Stafford staggered back by Alfonso Reyes. Shoulder block, elbow combination, forearm block thrown back. Another one coming up. Stafford backing off, looking for the right opportunity. Johnny Wrice moving up to the Chiefs now. Stafford forced to drop away. Elbow blocking to Rice, sends it flying into the rail. Stafford again, looking for the right opportunity, starting to dig in, trying to run to the outside, moves up, and Hine comes back, wipes out Alfonso Reyes, power play up in there, and Stafford scores. The jam called off. There were 2 more Pioneer points scored on the play.
Just beautiful by JoJo Stafford. We got it coming up on a replay right now. Here we come, JoJo. You'll see the other jammer moving in. He'll put a block on the Rice. Rice will go on the rail. Now you'll see JoJo move up on Alfonso Reyes. Stafford moving around the outside. Hines puts a block on him, moves on the inside, spins around, places hands on his hips. 2 points, JoJo. You know, the funny part is JoJo's been around for a long time and probably been on every team in the league, but he's a tremendous athlete and a tremendous ability.
There's JoJo, number 53. And I'll tell you something, I remember skating with JoJo Stafford in the training school. I used to think I was as good. But I used to think that all the time. Now I'm finding... How come they got to do it? I didn't. I'm going to go back and talk to somebody about that.
You're probably better off where you are now.
They kept telling me that. I believe them. Jammer's out. Darnay McPherson on the move for the Chiefs. And it's 58. Charles Gibson taking a hard shoulder block from the outside. Put down. Pioneers now without a jammer on the move, and McPherson moving in. The Chiefs need the points. They're down by 5. Jim Jackson sent back to do the blocking for the Pioneers. McPherson drives to the outside. Belted back by Jackson. Good quick moves. McPherson again trying to drive through. Stafford up with a key block. Prevents him from scoring once again. And the Pioneers have Charles Gibson moving into scoring contention as well right now. McPherson slowing down, trying to eliminate Gibson. Comes back. Good shoulder block. Puts him down again. Again, that drive. Reyes trying to move Jackson out of the way, trying to get that skater in for points. McPherson going to the outside. Pioneer jammer coming up quickly. Cuts it off 1 cheap point. Good heads-up move by McPherson.
Well, they call McPherson Mr. Smooth, and you could tell he's just a smooth skater. No kidding.
I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah. He's Mr. Cool, Mr. Smooth, you know. He just, it doesn't look like any effort at all. You could sit around. Look how he took out Gibson twice on an inside block.
And other people have had trouble with him. We were just talking about him earlier in the game. There's a guy that's really come along.
And Darnay is, he's Mr. Smooth, boy. He can get it done.
37-33. The Pioneers on top by 4. 7 minutes, 55 seconds left to go in the game. And the Chiefs desperately looking for a win here. This is the first place club, the Pioneers. And here comes the skater moving up, the coach of the Midwest Pioneers with a jammer's helmet on, the bald eagle, Bob Hine. Hine starts that jam. Buddy Atkinson Jr. coming out after Bob Hine. This is one we've got to stay with. These guys are terrific. Atkinson takes a high elbow block back by Hine. Takes another one from the inside. Atkinson driving up. Jump block, sidestep by Hine. Atkinson getting up slow, and Hine, quick move. He's still got it. This guy is fabulous. And Atkinson will be back on defense now. Atkinson set and waiting at the rear of the back. But he's shaken up a little bit after taking that hard block. Coming down 250 pounds. Hine jarred back, loses his helmet. Atkinson again. The high elbow blocks to Bob Hine. Hine again moving up. Coming up out of that turn. Down a straight leg block back by Atkinson. Atkinson slowing the forearm block. Hine driven almost face first down into the Masonite. Out of the turn. Jump block back by Atkinson. Hine taken out hard. And Hine is down, and time runs out. Atkinson holding on the defense. There's Bob Hine, coach of the Pioneers, wiped out by almost 250 pounds. Tremendous job by Atkinson and a great effort by Hine. Time being called here on the track with the Pioneers leading 37-33. Don Drewry, Ken Monty back calling the action. We're in the 8th and final period of this game between the Chiefs and the Pioneers. Pioneers lead 37-33. 5 minutes, 55 seconds left to go. Pioneers get the first jammer out. Charles Gibson on the move, followed out by a quick-moving Alan Littles. Littles moving for the Chiefs, leg block to the inside. Comes up another elbow Elbow block thrown back. Littles comes back. Shoulder block. Gibson stays right in there. Leg block. Off balance. Elbow combination puts it down. Gibson running into problems here in the second half. Has been dubbed consistently by the offensive jammers of the Chiefs. Chiefs now the only jammer out moving. 46, Alan Littles. Chiefs setting that jammer in. Gibson has been sent back to do the blocking. Pioneers looking to get somebody out. Stafford breaking out a long ways back, just getting out. Reyes going to work on Gibson. Littles blocking from the outside. They've got Gibson tied up. Puts him down. Now the Chiefs trying to lead Littles through. Pioneers being taken high. Littles inside. The jam called off. There were 3 Chief points scored by Alan Littles. That was a full team effort.
Complete team effort by the Chiefs. The Chiefs are starting to close the gap now. They're just trailing the Pioneers by 1 point, 37-36. I'd like to just bring up one thing. Of people, some of your newer viewers have been watching, and before Don said the bald eagle Bob Hine, and you notice that Bob don't lose his helmet too often, and you'll notice a stretch of hair going around. He used to shave his hair, and that's why he got the bald eagle. And Bob is not that old. He's just been premature bald for a number of years, and I guess he got tired of shaving, so he just do a little combing now.
Look at this tremendous crowd in the background, Ken.
Just super, I'll tell you. And you know,
thousands of fans out here in San Francisco every week. I'll tell you, they're going to take a shot of this entire audience before this game is over, all the way around. And you can see them, thousands of them here. And they're not just supporting the Bay Bombers right now. They're out here in support of all of the clubs in the league. And that's got to say a lot for this league. There's that young rookie. Last season's Rookie of the Year in the men's field, Larry Stoll taking off. Don Light out. Buddy Atkinson Jr. out. And the rookie's going to have a problem here. Quite a difference in size. Driven out of the way. Atkinson taking up jamming chores with a pivot helmet on. Chiefs down by 1. And now Atkinson calling up to the front of the pack. He's got Cattell and Reyes trying to slow it down. All of the Pioneers being kept in. Bob Hine back on defense for the Pioneers. Hine sent waiting. Atkinson trying to score to the outside. Atkinson belted back by Bob Hine. Atkinson trying to fight his way back up. Signs of fatigue starting to show, and Hine belting away. The continuous action at the rear. Hine set again. Stafford back there. Leg block by Hine. Shoulder block to Atkinson. Atkinson trying to fight his way through. Another shoulder block. Time and a jam running short. Hine with a jump block. Atkinson down. It's over. No score.
Tremendous by Bob Hine. Just showing the ability that he has. And you have to give the courage to Buddy Atkinson laying there on the floor. He didn't back off. He didn't slow down. He just kept coming forward. And there's Bob Hine. He should be quite proud of himself. And I'll tell you what, it's getting to the point where you separate the men from the boys. There's only 2 minutes and 50 seconds remaining, and there's only 1 point difference in this score at the present time.
Pioneers lead 37-36. The coach of the Pioneers, Bob Hine, taking a well-deserved rest after mastering Buddy Atkinson out there on that one particular play, and that doesn't mean it happens all the time. Atkinson, a great skater. He started in 1958-59 out of New York with the New York Chiefs.
Great skating family, too.
Skater sent flying over the rail. The jammers are out. Gibson is on the move, and it is Alfonso Reyes in pursuit. Reyes coming out with that pivot helmet on. Gibson comes back as a sidestep. A little bit too much weight, I think he put into that. He could have kept a little bit more lighter on his feet. When you commit yourself that bad, you're gone if you miss.
Well, he figured he's going to need it to get rid of Alfonso Reyes, who's no small man.
Reyes now moving in scoring contention. Again, Stafford breaking late. This must be about the 6th time. This guy has always got his head in the right place, concentrating. Gibson sent back to do the blocking. And it is Jerry Cattell driving a skater out of the way. The jam called off. Quick move as Stafford was moving up. He could have also scored, but it was cut off by Reyes. They settled for the 1 point. That ties it. 37-37, a minute, 35 seconds left to go in the game.
But like you pointed out, Don, I believe JoJo saved him some points on that. And then this is it. Because Alfonso Reyes had a chance to go in for a lot more score, and if JoJo wasn't on his toes to come out there, Alfonso Reyes could have continued on. There's a picture of Alfonso.
Alfonso, born and raised in San Jose, California, kid. I remember him as a fan when I was a skate boy, and again, they passed me up.
He became the skate boy.
1 minute, Less than a minute to go now. Remember the last jam in each half, if started, with less than a minute, runs the full 60 seconds regardless of the time on the clock. So if this jam starts, it will run the full 60 seconds. 50 seconds left to go. It started by Joe Perez. Three-man whip, and it is Johnny Rice in pursuit for the Chiefs with a score tied 37-37. Perez setting a fast pace. Both of these teams showing a little bit of fatigue. They've been driving all night. Rice drives to the inside and a block, and Perez is put down. The Chiefs now have the only scoring threat out. Perez is back up, but Atkinson comes out to bring him back into the pack. All five of the Pioneers kept in. Perez sent back to do the blocking. He's caught behind the pack, not actually sent back. Rice moving in a scoring position. They're only 15 seconds in regulation time, but they're into the extra jam time. Rice makes a move to the outside, is belted back. Joe Perez breaking late. Bob Hine doing the blocking. The pack at a standstill. Here comes Perez. Perez moving for the Pioneers. Perez closing up. Low inside. He scores. Rice also going through. Rice is still going. Perez has been taken down. Both of these men have gotten through the pack, but the Chiefs have that only jammer out. The Chiefs have the only jammer. Johnny Rice moving up. Skaters piling up in the pack, and Rice has scored again. What a jam. What a jam. There were 4 Pioneer points scored by the Pioneers. There were a total of 7 Chief points picked up by Johnny Rice after a second effort drive. What a jam, Ken.
Just a tremendous jam, a tremendous effort by Perez. And it's something very unusual to see where one person scores 7 points and one person scores 4.
The final score here, the Chiefs 44, the Pioneers 41, and a continuous drive again by Johnny Rice after they both have scored. Just phenomenal. We'll be back with an interview directly following this break. Drewry here at Kezar Pavilion, the final score of this game. The Chiefs 44, the Pioneers 41. I'm talking with Bud Atkinson Jr. And Bud, you know, I thought you were a big man out there on that track. I didn't realize how big the rest of the players out there on that team with you. It's the biggest team I think I've ever seen. Jerry Cattell, Alfonso, Reyes, Mike Phillips, Buzz Saunders. There isn't a small man out there except for Johnny Rice.
In the business, we say love it. When you get a team this big, it makes your job so easy. I mean, we can really, you know, bust these people around. It's easy on everybody. The only problem we're having is with this weight, the second half, we start to
fizzle out just a little?
Just a little bit. So then, as you noticed, our game plan, we wrapped it around the smaller guys on our team, and that's where we pulled it out. But it's really a blast having a big team like this. I'm a contact person, always been, and with a team like this, it makes it easy. We just bounce these people around left and right. I must say that Hines did a nice job. It's too bad, though, that we're just a little bit better, a little stronger.
Well, you know, coming in against this team is really fantastic because the Pioneers, of course, are in first place right now, and with your team coming up, this is the first competition you've had against this first-place team. It looks like the Chiefs are going to be moving into that first-place team.
There's no doubt about it. I feel very confident. My team feels confident. We're high on it. We've had nothing but positive thoughts in this. I look to be in the first spot this whole year. I really do, bar none.
But I want to talk to the fans and yourself just a little bit about some of the things coming up here on this Saturday, July the 8th. You're going to, of course, be returning to San Jose at the ballpark at Powell Stadium out there. Big game for you, and of course, that's outdoors. Then this Sunday, you return to San Francisco in a big doubleheader here at Kezar Pavilion. It's going to be the first time that the fans here in San Francisco will see this powerful Chief team play against the Bay Bombers.
Well, I'll tell you what, I think they're going to be very, very surprised. We've got a couple of new things for this year. And like I said, with the event of having a big team like this, I think Charlie and his little boys are going to have themselves one heck of a handful here. I don't think he's going to be able to handle it.
You were in Stockton not too long ago. You saw the Bombers play against the Red Devils. We're going to be returning to Stockton Sunday, July the 16th. But again, we want to remind the fans as you're watching this telecast that we are coming back to San Jose this Saturday, July the 8th, and of course back to San Francisco this Sunday. That is this Sunday. And a big doubleheader back here at Kezar Pavilion. That team of yours is going to hold up?
Well, I'll tell you what, I know we're going to hold up because we've got some secret training coming up. Besides doing about 4 miles a day, I'm working with the fellas right now, and I have Sandy Dunn working with the ladies, and I don't see any problem whatsoever we're going to have with any team, like I said, this year.
Well, I want to wish you the best of luck, and
well, I'll tell you, Don, you better wish all the other teams